Chapter 21 War God Yang Hui, A Big Fish. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Captain, the person I recommended is good. Chenggu hadn't realized the problem yet. Gao Feng glanced at Jiang Li, who was sheathing his sword, rubbed his temples and said, "Not bad, not bad. I feel that our fire hammer team will delay Jiang Li." Soon, Luo Feng also took down the sawtooth dog. Team leader. Luo Feng came running from a distance, "This sawtooth. Whatever you kill is yours." Gao Feng smiled and said, "Jiang Li, the most valuable thing about the iron-barked wild boar is its iron skin, but you have destroyed this iron skin." "Huh? Did I exert too much force? But how much is this thing worth?" Jiang Li asked curiously. "If you sell this iron sheet to a martial arts school, it should be worth 1 million Hanxia coins, and you can also get hundreds of contribution points. If you sell it to the Underground Alliance, it should be worth 2 million. Zhang Ke smiled and said, "The saw teeth of a sawtoothed dog are much cheaper, probably only about 10,000. The materials of beasts, generals and monsters are valuable, and the important materials on the Lord Monster are even more expensive. As for the beast soldiers, they are very cheap. After all, beast-level monsters can be killed with thermal weapons. With good thermal weapons, even non-warriors can hunt them down." Just when Jiang Li and the others were heading to the next supply station, "This is Jiangnan Guild Hall. Special Envoy. Wu Tong is online, you can connect with him at any time." Zhou Xingyong, the president of the Jiangnan Guild Hall, met with a special envoy from the headquarters, Yang Hui, the god of war. Yang Hui nodded and called up the projector. Soon, the three-dimensional projection is connected, and Wu Tong, who is far away in Yangzhou City, appears directly in the projection room in a virtual form. Except for some halos on the surface, he is almost the same as a real person. Wu Tong has met with the president, special envoy. Wu Tong bowed slightly. "Tai Shou must have told you the reason why I came to you." Yang Hui got straight to the point and ordered, "Tell me all the information about Jiang Li, word for word." "Yes." Wu Tong nodded respectfully, and then told everything about Jiang Li. Other side, after several battles, the Fire Hammer team quietly entered the vicinity of county number 0201. "Jiang Li, Luo Feng, we have been walking along the highway these past few days, and we have been walking through desolate areas." As he walked, Chenggu lowered his voice and said, "The vast majority of monsters live in cities. The denser the buildings in the city, the more dangerous they are." "Clear." In the long-term war between monsters and humans, while humans continue to progress, so do the monsters. Most intelligent monsters understand that in open wilderness areas they are easily attacked by human long-range thermal weapons. In dense urban areas, there are many dilapidated buildings and bunkers everywhere. If humans want to deal with them, they can only engage in street fighting. Our target this time is an armored cow." Gao Feng waved to everyone and said in a low voice, "The county in front is the home of the armored cattle. Their leader should be sea level, which is equivalent to a senior general. And there are a huge number of these armored cow lairs. Let's go around them. Chenggu, don't shoot yet. We must kill with one strike. Once the armored cow calls for its companions, we will be in trouble." "Yes, Captain." Everyone responded. Suburbs, counties, and urban areas have different levels of danger. In some urban areas, there may be lord-level monsters lurking, which even the god of war would not be easy to deal with. Along the abandoned trail into the city, the 7 members of the Fire Hammer team moved forward cautiously. "Let's go to the rooftop first. Everyone, be careful, there might be monsters hiding on the floor." Gao Feng's words haven't finished yet. "Roar!" A tiger mastiff suddenly jumped out from the corner of the stairs. "Call out! Call out!" The movements of the Wei brothers were almost exactly the same. Each of them struck out with one sword, as if carving out a 10, and directly killed the beast-level tiger mastiff. Ho ho ho! However, the explosion of the smell of blood immediately attracted all the tiger mastiffs on the entire floor. Chenggu glanced at the dozens of tiger mastiff dogs and said depressedly, "It seems that we have stabbed the tiger mastiff's lair. They are all beast soldiers. Don't shoot." The six of us will quickly resolve the battle. That without any hesitation, Gao Feng swung his hammers and killed directly. Whoosh! 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 Luo Feng held a shield in one hand and wielded the blood shadow saber in the other. After several days of fighting, he had reached the threshold of the warrior level, and his sword skills became more and more proficient. The Wei brothers cooperated extremely well with each other. While their bodies were intertwined, almost every blow took away a tiger mastiff. Poof! Jiang Li and Zhang Ke stepped forward, the blood shadow sabers in their hands carrying an unstoppable power, one after another. Soon, the beast-level tiger mastiffs were cleared away, and the 7 people rushed directly to the rooftop. Zhang Ke, go and close the stairs. Gao Feng glanced at the rooftop. Just like the rooftop of a normal human community, there was only one intersection. After Zhang Ke closed the door, he took out the food and water from his backpack and said, I can finally take a breath. Do you all have binoculars? Gao Feng said, look down from the rooftop to see if you can find any trace of the armored cow. Remember, don't expose too much of your body to avoid being discovered by other monsters. I don't. Jiang Li said straightforwardly. Hey, you just killed the most tiger mastiffs. I allow you to be lazy for a while. Wei Qing is now quite convinced by Jiang Li. Brothers, look for monsters. Luo Feng also took out his telescope from his backpack. Generally, everyone would bring this field aid. Captain, look here. After a while, Zhang Ke suddenly exclaimed and pointed in a certain direction of the county seat. Whoosh! Others immediately rushed over. Although Jiang Li didn't have binoculars, he saw hundreds of wild boars appearing on the street in the northwest corner. There are iron boar, one-horned boar, tusked boar, and so on. That one on the middle street is a bloodthirsty tank. Gao Feng's eyes lit up. The second most bloodthirsty tank group among pig monsters. Luo Feng showed surprise. This pig-like monster has a large number of scales all over its body, and its defense power is extremely amazing, no less than a real war tank. This is a big fish. Wei Tai rubbed his hands. Captain, judging from the color of its scales, it should be close to D-level. It is an intermediate beast. Chen Gu, it's up to you. Gao Feng greeted and explained. Jiang Li, Luo Feng, the best way to kill a beast general like this who is surrounded by monsters is to use heavy armor-piercing bullets to kill them remotely. And what we have to do is get the body. A bloodthirsty tank like this can be sold for more than 15 million yuan if placed in the Underground Alliance. While Gao Feng was explaining, Chen Gu had already installed the heavy sniper rifle. He leaned down, put his eyes on the sight, licked his fingers with his tongue, felt the wind, and then turned the aiming optic accurately. The next moment. Bang! A heavy and powerful explosion sounded. Almost instantly, the bullet passed through the space and slammed into the ear of the bloodthirsty tank. Puff! 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 At this time, everyone heard the sound of sonic boom. The bloodthirsty tank's erect ears instantly burst into flames. The huge momentum caused half of its head to hit the ground, and the bullets passed through its ear holes. Chapter 22, Diamond Glaze Power Demonstrates Divine Power. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ouch! The bloodthirsty tank roared in pain one after another. He struggled to get up, but after he stood firm, he let out a painful cry and crashed to the ground. Suddenly, the surrounding pig monsters gathered towards it crazily, just like the stars over the moon. Pretty. Gao Feng held the telescope, and after seeing the bloodthirsty tank fall, he raised his hand. What a knife! Don't praise me yet. Chen Gu said with a smile, now you should think of a way to get the corpses of bloodthirsty tanks from hundreds of wild boars. Your fire support. Gao Feng gave an instruction and called on the others to go downstairs quickly. Brothers, let's go. Luo Feng, you are a bit weak, you are responsible for protecting Chen Gu. After going downstairs, Gao Feng quickly made a plan. Wei Tai and Wei Qing, you two are responsible for disrupting the herd. Jiang Li, you are responsible for supporting them. Remember, never show off. It is extremely dangerous to attack the herd of beasts. Once surrounded, even the warrior level is in danger. Gao Feng reminded him again and again, and his expression became solemn for the first time. Brother Jiang, Brother Zhang, you all must be careful. Luo Feng also held his breath at this time. It was indeed extremely dangerous to attack a group of hundreds of monsters. Jiang Li nodded slightly. Everyone is the same, call out. Call out. Two black streams of light flew out from the hands of brothers Wei Tai and Wei Qing, like a black meteor streaking through the air and falling into the group of monsters in the distance. D. Boom! Two time bombs suddenly exploded, and the powerful explosion and impact caused nearby monsters to panic. At the same time, the two bombs also rolled up a large amount of smoke, which quickly spread in all directions. Now, Gao Feng gave the order, kicked his legs back, swung two black sledgehammers and shot out, whoosh whoosh. Wei Tai and Wei Qing also exploded with all their strength, holding a shield in one hand and a knife in the other, and quickly rushed towards the bloodthirsty tank's corpse. Call out. At the same time, Jiang Li held the blood shadow saber in his hand and followed him like a ray of white lightning. He swung the sword along the way, only to hear two hiss and hiss sounds, and the heads of the two tusked wild boars were chopped off directly. Ordinary beast soldier monsters could not withstand Jiang Li's blow. Bang! At this moment, Gao Feng, wielding a heavy hammer, rushed to the side of the bloodthirsty tank. He quickly took out a dagger, stabbed it in from behind the ear of the bloodthirsty tank, and began to dissect the body. Jiang Li, I'll leave the front to you. Zhang Ke waved his alloy spear, pushed it to Gao Feng's left side and shouted loudly. Brothers Wei Tai and Wei Qing defended on Gao Feng's right. With the defensive power of the bloodthirsty tank, it would take even Gao Feng, an intermediate general, half a minute to dig out the materials. Roar! 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 In a blink of an eye, other monsters also discovered Gao Feng and the others, and immediately roared and rushed towards them one by one. Each one of them seemed to be a car with a speed exceeding 100 km per hour. Dozens of them surrounded and attacked, and even the senior generals had to avoid their sharp edges. No! Too many. Wei Qing slashed down the iron-skinned wild boar with one strike. Looking straight ahead, his expression suddenly changed. Captain, how long will it take? 15 seconds. Jiang Li. Zhang Ke was wielding a spear at this moment, and after repelling three monsters one after another, he saw the group of monsters in front of him like a roaring mountain and a tsunami, and he quickly shouted, "Get back quickly." 10 seconds. Gao Feng blushed and tried his best to cut open the skin of the bloodthirsty tank. Chenggu, cover fire. Wei Tai roared, and Chenggu, who was setting up a high-level thermal weapon behind him, gave a ferocious smile. Suddenly, there was a chugging sound, and streaks of light were sprayed out from the muzzle of the gun. This kind of continuous bullet has little effect on the beast general level, but it is still very threatening to the beast soldier level. After covering fire, nearly one-third of the wild boar that charged at the front fell. Jiang Li. Gao Feng dissected only the last cut left and shouted, 5 seconds. Good. Apart from Gao Feng, the only person present who had reached the level of an intermediate general was Jiang Li. Jiang Li naturally understood what Gao Feng meant and fought for these 5 seconds for him. Go to hell. Jiang Li's eyes narrowed, and a layer of light flashed across his body. It's as if it's crystal-plated, diamond glaze technique. He stretched his right arm fully and punched out with a terrifying punch. Boom, boom, boom. The dozens of wild boars directly in front were swept away, sweeping up a puff of smoke. In fact, Jiang Li did not want to expose these martial arts skills prematurely, but now there is really no way. Fortunately, Chenggu and the others knew what was going on and didn't ask any more questions. Okay, let's retreat. After finishing the dissection, Gao Feng shouted and didn't care to look at the situation. Whoosh! Whoosh! The 7 members of the Fire Hammer team quickly retreated and ran to the other side without looking back. This way. After the Fire Hammer team ran out for 3 or 4 kilometers, Gao Feng looked back and made sure that no monsters were chasing him. Go up to this building. On the rooftop of the 17th floor, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. I got 15 million. Chenggu laughed. We have gained a lot this time. Thanks to Jiang Li and Luo Feng, our team was able to take down the bloodthirsty tank so easily. Jiang Li, that punch you just made was awesome. Zhang Ke was also very happy. Usually, when they went out to the wilderness area, they only earned tens of millions in 1 or 2 months, and each person didn't get much. This is why Zhang Zihu, who has been in the wilderness area for many years, still felt very painful about the 80 million. Indeed, Gao Feng also nodded and said, but it's strange that the monster group didn't seem to chase us all the time this time. Huh, what does this mean? Wei Tai laughed, and Wei Qin teased, it means that our escape speed has increased. Okay, stop being naughty, and replenish your physical strength. Just when the Fire Hammer squad hit on the 17th floor rooftop, another elite team appeared near the body of the bloodthirsty tank. They all had a tiger emblem embroidered on their chests. They were the Tiger Fang squad with a great reputation in the Jiangnan martial arts circle. Damn it, the bloodthirsty tank we tracked for a day was killed by someone. That the person who spoke was none other than Zhang Zihu, who had suffered a great loss from Luo Feng. Captain, look here, that the Tiger Fang squad is no weaker than the Fire Hammer squad, and they also have 2 general-level warriors. The 16 bodies were cut open face to face, and the cuts are the same. This is probably caused by the same attack. Captain Tiger Fang looked at the bodies and frowned, saying, with such attack power, he must be at least a high-level general. We can't afford to offend such people. A high-level general also wants to dig out the materials of the bloodthirsty tank. Zhang Zihu was a little confused. It shouldn't be the same person. The one-eyed middle-aged man checked the body of the bloodthirsty tank and concluded, this bloodthirsty tank was killed by thermal weapons, and the high-level general should just pass by. Damn it, another sniper with thermal weapons said hatefully, they are so lucky. They know very well that it is not difficult to sneak attack and kill the bloodthirsty tank, but it is difficult to extract materials from the herd. At the moment, it is obvious that when a sniper killed the bloodthirsty tank, he happened to meet a high-level general passing by, and cleared the herd for them with 1 shot. As for why this judgment is made. If the team had a high-level general, there would be no need to launch a sneak attack. Forget it, our target is not the bloodthirsty tank. As long as we can take down this old guy, Hunter, it is enough to counter 50 bloodthirsty tanks. Upon hearing the name of Hunter, several people in the Tiger Fang team laughed. Chapter 23 Dragon God Power, Silver Moon Wolf. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time, a message appears in the chat group. Ding, group friend Longbow uploaded Dragon Magic, please click to go to the mall to view it. The originally silent chat group suddenly became lively. Everyone became curious, what exactly is the martial arts uploaded by a newcomer for the first time? In an instant, everyone opened the Points Mall and started looking. Dragon Divine Skill, Immortality Cultivation Technique, worth 50,000 points. Jiang Li was also curious about this dragon magic. After all, it was Shu Yadongshan's top skill, and if it was suitable, he would also like to exchange it for one. The price of the Dragon Divine Art was clearly displayed on the mall interface, 50,000 points. It is more than 30,000 higher than the Tai Chi Eternal Life Sword. That's right. After all, the Dragon Divine Skill is a skill that can turn one's own energy into a dragon. The degree of fantasy is far superior to the Tai Chi Eternal Sword. Long Teng, a mortal, relied on his dragon god function to resist Yin Zhong, who had an immortal body. Moreover, since his soul is immortal, 500 years later, he could still use Longbow's body to fight Yin Zhong again. Jiang Li now has a lot of points. We are not afraid of things being expensive, but we are afraid of things being rubbish. Everyone in the chat group was shocked by the Dragon Divine Skill. Zixia Junzi Sword, the Dragon Divine Skill is awesome, 50,000 points, more expensive than boss Jiang Li's Tai Chi Sword of Eternal Life. I am Spider-Man, the spiritual world is too scary. Heaven and earth are boundless and the universe borrows the law, heaven. The newcomer is so awesome, I have embarrassed the seniors in the group. Shaoli Feidao, damn it, I was just trying to save points to exchange for boss Jiang Li's spiritual training method, but here comes another dragon magic skill. Peach Blossom Island Little Chef, you are all so awesome. Unfortunately, I can't afford any of them. Yao Yu, I can't afford it. 100-year-old Wudang Taoist, Dragon Magic. The newcomers are amazing. Longbow, hello everyone, this chat group is indeed magical. Please take care of me in the future. Suddenly, Longbow bubbled up in the chat group. After a period of time, he also completely understood and accepted the chat group. Zixia Junzijian, hello, Mr. Longbow. I am Spider-Man. Boss Longbow is not only strong, but also polite. He is truly a knight of my generation. Borrowing method from heaven and earth. Wuji Qiankuanat, what is the strength of the boss now? Only Mr. Jiang Li in the group can suppress you, right? Peach Blossom Island Little Chef, Boss Jiang Li will always be awesome. Yao Yu, Boss Jiang Li is still great. No matter who comes, Boss Jiang Li will always be awesome. Longbow, seniors, you have disgraced the juniors. I am just bearing the shadow of my ancestors. I did not create the dragon divine skill, which is passed down in my family. My current strength is 1.5 stars in the world, less than 2 stars. Even if the people in the group blew it, Longbow didn't lose his temper. This guy sure is polite. Zombie Taoist priest, damn it, Lin is meeting the boss. Zixia Junzijian, indeed, apart from Boss Jiang Li, who is now a 5-star player in the universe, Boss Longbow is the strongest. After Jiang Li's strength breakthrough, he reached the Zhutian 2-star level. Adding the group status +3, he had a 5-star level. Heaven and Earth Infinite Universe Borrowing Dharma, can you tell us about your world? Very curious about the spiritual world. Longbow, sorry, I have lived in an isolated place since I was a child. I have never left. I don't know what the spiritual world that my predecessors talk about is like. Longbow is still in Shueiyue Cave. Jiang Li's heart moved. He remembered that in Shueiyue Cave, the Tong family had many real spells. Even when Yin Zhong left the Tong clan, he took with him a technique practiced by the gods in ancient times. Yin Tianxue became terminally ill because of practicing this spiritual cultivation method. These are all good things. If Longbow uploads all these things, his heritage will increase exponentially. However, with Longbow's upright character, it is a bit difficult for him to upload the Tong clan spells. Jiang Li had a headache. This has to be done slowly. There is no need to rush. Fortunately, he has plenty of time now. Heaven and Earth Infinite Universe borrows the method. What a pity. I am Spider-Man, what? How old is Mr. Longbow? Have you never seen the colorful world outside? No Coke and French fries, you might as well kill me. Longbow, I, the Tong clan, work at sunrise and return at sunset. We live peacefully. Why should we go to the outside world? Peach Blossom Island Little Chef, Big Boss Cow. Congratulations on selling 1 copy of King Kong Glaze Gong and earning 3,000 points. Please check it carefully. Jiang Li was watching a few people chatting when a notification suddenly popped up. Oh. Longbow bought the diamond glaze technique. Jiang Li smiled slightly. It's good if you have a need, but I'm afraid you won't buy anything. Devour the world. After the Fire Hammer team had eaten and drank enough, they continued to search for monsters. Did the tin ox move? Zhang Ku looked around all afternoon and found nothing. I didn't even notify you. My eyes almost swelled from seeing it. Only your skin. Wei Qing rolled his eyes at Zhang Ku. Why didn't you leave a phone number for it last time? Jiang Li was still smart and didn't bring binoculars. It's not that I didn't bring it. It's that I didn't have the money to buy it. Hearing Wei Qing's teasing, Jiang Li spread his hands and said, 1 Blood Shadow War Sword and another Blood Shadow War Sword cost all my wealth. Hey, why don't you buy it from me? You can save half the money. Chenggu put on a look of deep sorrow, but then again, you don't seem to use a sword either. Huh, Chenggu, you don't understand this. Zhang Ku laughed and said, this is called a martial arts dream. I thought about using a sword before, but I couldn't do it, so I used a war gun later. Jiang Li is good, carrying a sword on his back. If nothing else, at least it looks cool. Brother, this is a wilderness area, are you showing off to pigs? Wei Tai couldn't help rolling his eyes. Of course, Jiang Li is not just for the sake of being cool, his Tai Chi Chongqing swordsmanship is much stronger than the swordsmanship of destroying the world and nine-layer thunder blade. Okay, stop making trouble, something's going on, Gao Feng called out, and several people came over. Luo Feng looked through the telescope. Is this the Silver Moon Wolf? Yes, it is it. Chengu was immediately excited. This is the royal family of wolf monsters, also known as the Silver Moon Wolf of the Hunter. The Silver Moon Wolf is extremely good. An adult Silver Moon Wolf has at least the strength of a mid-level warrior, and is known for its cunning, insidiousness, bloodthirstiness and cruelty. In addition, its extremely fast speed makes ordinary high-level warriors no match for it. Because of this, the hair, skull, etc. of the Silver Moon Wolf can be sold at a sky-high price in human society, even not lower than the materials of some lord monsters. Captain, this is a high-level beast general-level Silver Moon Wolf. Wei Tai took a deep breath and judged based on its body shape and hair, we may not be able to deal with it. Look, Luo Feng has excellent eyesight and immediately found that the Silver Moon Wolf has a wound in its abdomen, it is injured. Hearing this, Wei Tai and Wei Qing's eyes lit up. Captain, Chengu couldn't help but said excitedly, it's injured, how about we fight? Everyone wake up. Don't let the money blind you. Gao Feng was very calm, even if this Silver Moon Wolf is seriously injured, we can't deal with it now. Captain, are you really not going to try? Zhang Ke couldn't help but want to. A high-level beast general-level Silver Moon Wolf can be sold for at least 500 million. How much? Without waiting for Gao Feng to answer, Jiang Li, who hadn't spoken, suddenly brightened his eyes. Are you sure? Chapter 26 Jiang Li God of War. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ho! Ho! The foul smell of monsters filled the air. Since the body of the Silver Moon Wolf was in the middle of the alley, monsters were rushing from all directions. At this time, Luo Feng's eyes were firm, and he controlled 6 flying knives and began to dissect the body of the Silver Moon Wolf. Bang! 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 Chengu, who occupied the commanding heights, first suppressed the monsters in an alley with firepower, spraying bullets like they were free. Jiang Li, Luo Feng, the alleyway is not wide and the monsters cannot come in all at once. I will suppress an alleyway for you first. Chengu's voice came from the communicator. Ouch! Ouch! Before Jiang Li could respond, dozens of one-horned wolves on the other side rushed towards him. At this time, Jiang Li's eyes were cold, the blood shadow sword in his hand was moving with rainbow light, and his whole body was like a white lightning, and he rushed forward to kill him instantly. Magnetic storm streaming knife. Jiang Li waved the blood-colored rainbow light in his hand, condensing a red light and sweeping across it instantly. Ouch! Dozens of one-horned wolves could only scream in agony before their heads were chopped off, and their entire bodies were chopped into 2 pieces by Jiang Li in the air, at the same time. Buzz! The blood shadow war sword on Jiang Li's back let out a low cry, and instantly turned into a bloody stream of light that passed over Luo Feng's head and shot towards the alley on the left, a flying sword. In the blink of an eye, the head of the 6-headed tiger mastiff that rushed towards Luo Feng was penetrated. Blood and brains splattered everywhere. Ho ho ho! Under the shrill beast roar, the monsters behind were even more bloodthirsty and crazy, and kept swarming in. Then try my King Kong drive. Jiang Li looked at the dozens of tusked wild boars rushing and charging in front of him, some of which had reached the level of junior beast generals. The murderous intent in his eyes grew stronger, and the energy and blood all over his body began to boil. The next moment, Jiang Li's body flashed with glaze light again. This time, it was stronger than the previous one. Dang dang dang. The tusked wild boar crashed into Jiang Li, making a terrifying sound. Jiang Li, however, did not move at all. Instead, he showed a hint of excitement and a touch of bloodlust on his lips. Go to hell, boom boom boom. With all his energy and blood gathered in his fist, Jiang Li punched out like a shadow, exploding dozens of tusked wild boars flying in front of him. causing the building floors on both sides to collapse together. For a time, the alley was buried under ruins, but blood continued to flow out of the ruins like a spring. Gao Feng, Zhang Ku, and the Wei brothers who had joined Gu couldn't help but look back when they heard the huge roar. Although they couldn't see the whole process, they couldn't help but take a breath when they saw the result. Isn't Jiang Li too strong? It's absolutely terrifying. Psychologists are really perverts. How many monsters does it take to kill him? They had known that mentalists were perverted, but they didn't expect them to be so perverted. Buzz. The handle of the knife vibrated. Jiang Li changed his fist to use the knife, and made a sweeping sweep. The light of the knife was like a stream of light, too fast to be caught by the naked eye. All the monsters that drove within 50 meters were either swept and dismembered, or had their heads pierced by flying swords. In an instant, there was a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Brother Jiang, it's ready. It took Luo Feng 5 full minutes to finish the Silver Moon Wolf. Go. Go east. Jiang Li didn't hesitate at all. No matter how powerful he would still be exhausted when facing an endless stream of monsters. The words fell, Jiang Li jumped up, and the blood shadow war sword instantly circled around his feet. Luo Feng also controlled the shield and jumped up, and the two of them quickly flew towards the east. The night falls, and the silver moon is like a wash, under the moonlight, in the dilapidated county town. The two figures were like swimming dragons, quickly passing through the dilapidated park and flying to the rooftop of the 13th floor. The other 5 members of the Fire Hammer team are resting here. They're coming. Well, no one was hurt. The members of the Fire Hammer team used binoculars to watch Jiang Li and Luo Feng flying in, and immediately rushed towards them. No, we have the materials. Luo Feng smiled and patted his full backpack. Finally, my hard work was not in vain. Sharp. Awesome. Jiang Li, from now on our brothers will also call you brother. Everyone in the Fire Hammer team gave a thumbs up and sighed in shock. One person faces hundreds or even nearly 1,000 monsters. Not to mention their strength, even their courage is not something they can match. It's a pity that 4 of the Huya team ran away. Although Jiang Li could control the blood shadow sword to attack and kill quickly, the range of his mental power was always limited, and Panya and the others reacted quickly, and with the general's explosive speed, they were suddenly out of the range of Jiang Li's mental power. Team Huya. When mentioning the Tiger Tooth team, Gao Feng couldn't help but touch his gauze-covered head and gritted his teeth and said, next time we meet, I must let them taste the power of my double-wind hammers. After many years of hammer training, this was the first time I hit my head. Said, Gao Feng solemnly thanked Jiang Li and said, Jiang Li, I cannot thank you enough for your kindness. I, Gao Feng, owe you my life. Captain, what you said is serious. Jiang Li held Gao Feng's hand and said with a smile, I am also a member of the Fire Hammer team. Haha. Chenggu laughed happily, Chenggu, have a good eye. Spiritual masters are so rare. I found 2 in one go. Wei Tai and Wei Qing were also very happy. Psychopaths, we have 2 of them in the Fire Hammer squad. Hehe, I guess the Tiger Fang squad is scared now. If they offend a psychic, they don't know how to write the word death. Zhang Ko laughed strangely. It is rumored that the mental power of a psychic is 1 or 2 levels higher than the physical fitness. From this point of view, Luo Feng, you are now equivalent to the strength of a mid-level warrior. Jiang Li, you. God of War. All warriors know how terrible psychic masters are. At the same level, they will definitely crush other warriors. No matter how exquisite your sword skills, knife skills, and gun skills are, psychic masters can control objects to fly, hide in the distance and attack remotely, surpassing the God of War, and there is almost no solution. Moreover, the speed of psychic masters controlling objects to fly is more than twice that of warriors of the same level. Even if the level gap is large, psychic masters can completely escape by relying on speed. It's not that exaggerated. Jiang Li shook his head. In terms of attack power alone, he can reach the level of a war god with the internal force of the Yin-Yang Hunyuan Tai Chi Gong, combined with the Vajrayoli Gong and other martial arts, but which war god doesn't have secret skills? Moreover, he has not reached the level of a war god in terms of speed, nerve reaction, and speed. Strength alone cannot beat a war god. No matter what, Jiang Li can sweep the entire Tiger Fang team alone. Chen Gu grinned. They will probably regret their lifetime for attacking us this time. Not bad. By the way, Captain, Brother Zhang, Brother Chen, Brother Tai, Brother Qing, I hope everyone can keep it secret as much as possible and don't disclose our secrets. Luo Feng thought about it and still asked, I didn't want everyone to worry about me before, but once the spiritualist is exposed, I'm afraid our peaceful life can no longer continue. That's what I said, but if the martial arts hall's top management knew that you are spiritualists, they will definitely focus on training you. Qin Gu said after a little hesitation, it would be best if they could stay in the Fire Hammer squad, but as a spiritualist, if they can get the full training of the martial arts school, their future achievements will definitely be higher. This is a trade-off. Well, Qin Gu is right. Gao Feng nodded and smiled, but as comrades in the same team, we will naturally not make it public. It is up to you to decide how to choose. Promise not to mention it. Wei Tai and Wei Qing made a zipper gesture to their mouths. A spiritualist is an ace, and hiding it is called a trump card. But I'm afraid that the secret that Jiang Li is a spiritualist can no longer be concealed. Zhang Ke subconsciously glanced at Jiang Li's blood shadow battle sword. Now he finally understood that Jiang Li was not carrying a sword to look cool. That was really a murderous sword. Chapter 27, Meet the Tiger Fang team again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I don't care, Jiang Li smiled and said, my wife doesn't like me coming to the wilderness area either. She would probably be happier if I could go to the special training camp. Gao Feng. Qin Gu. Everyone. After everyone in the Fire Hammer team was excited for a long time, they began to plan their return route. Under the starry sky, in the dilapidated wilderness area, some people are happy, while others are naturally sad. Dead. A Xiao and a Dong are both dead. Beheading with one sword, Xiao didn't even have time to react. He is at least the spiritual master of the senior general. In the dilapidated ruins of the house, Lao Han of the Huya team was still trembling and mumbling. Even the nervous reaction of a warrior-level warrior was instantly killed. He couldn't imagine how fast Jiang Li's sword was. Why is this happening? Zhang Zihu also turned pale. Now he finally understood why manager Wang told Director Li not to provoke Jiang Li. This is a spiritual master at the intermediate warrior level. Captain, what should I do? What to do? Panya looked gloomy and stared at Zhang Zihu coldly. You have to go back to the base city first and then think about what to do. If we meet him again, we will all die. Military area, supply base. Finally back to base. Panya and the four of them almost rushed into the gate of the base. At this moment, their hanging hearts were truly relieved. Old Pan, why are you in such a mess? Did you encounter some big monster this time? They are all in the wilderness area all year round, and the bearded officer at the supply base is also familiar with the Huya team. Old Han, where are Xiao and Dong Zi? Brother He, they are all dead. Old Han lit a cigarette, glanced at Zhang Zihu, and took 2 long puffs. Dead. Brother He's face turned slightly, and his eyes widened. Isn't it because we encountered a tide of beasts? Huh. The Fire Hammer team is also back, and Gao Feng is also injured. Upon hearing this, the expressions of the remaining 4 members of Huya team suddenly changed and they suddenly turned their heads to look. Gao Feng was seen walking in front with his head wrapped tightly, and the others entered the supply base one after another. A 4-rest area. Lao Gao, what's wrong with your head? The officer guarding the gate handed Gao Feng a room card and asked with concern, have any monsters advanced nearby? 2 members of the Huya team died during this hunting. Team Huya is back. When Gao Feng heard this, he became furious. Captain, the Huya team is over there, in the A6 rest area. Wei Tai shouted loudly, and everyone in the Fire Hammer team immediately looked over and saw Panya, Zhang Zihu and others talking to Brother He at the door of the A6 rest area. Panya, stop for me! Gao Feng roared angrily and rushed over with both hammers in hand. when Panya and others saw the fire hammer team, they were shocked and wanted to hide in the rest area, but after Gao Feng scolded him, the surrounding warrior teams all looked over. In this way, Panya and the other 4 people did not dare to run away. If they really wanted to run away, wouldn't they admit that they were in the wrong? We did the right thing, but we can't admit it even to death. Gao Feng, what are you yelling at? Panya faced Gao Feng and snorted coldly, what kind of place is this? This is a military area, a place where warriors are supplied. Do you dare to act wild? That they are not afraid of Shan Gao Feng at all. What Panya is really afraid of is Jiang Li, who is a spiritual master. Court death. Gao Feng was so angry that he hit him with a heavy black hammer. Panya's face darkened, and with very fast movements, a 3-edged saber sprang out like a ghost and collided with Gao Feng's heavy hammer, causing fire to fly everywhere. Panya didn't move when he heard the wind, but Gao Feng even took 3 steps back. Beep! 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 The piercing whistle sound suddenly resounded throughout the military region supply base. A 12th squadron in combat uniforms quickly surrounded them with guns. The leader of the squad leader yelled. Everyone stop it. Fighting is prohibited in the supply base, otherwise, our guards have the right to kill you. The guards appeared, and more warriors immediately gathered. Gao Feng also knew that fighting with weapons was prohibited in the supply base. This rule was jointly formulated by the military, the martial arts gym and the HR alliance, and even the god of war did not dare to violate it. Panya, I will return this shot to you sooner or later. Gao Feng released the hammer, pointed at his head and sneered, I've heard that your Huya team is sinister and vicious before. I, Gao Feng, never thought that your insidiousness would be used against other warrior teams. Not only did he want to kill me with one shot, but he also led the beasts to surround our fire hammer team. How cruel. Wow! Hearing Gao Feng's words, the warriors watching suddenly burst into an uproar. Isn't this Huya team too cruel? A team was wiped out before. Wasn't it the Huya team that did it? Who knows? That Huya Panya is not a good person at first glance. Stay away from them from now on. Listening to all kinds of discussions, Panya's face became increasingly ugly. Gao Feng, don't be slanderous. All the snipers in our team died in the wilderness area. How can we sneak attack on you? If you have evidence, just file a complaint. Don't confuse the public here and make trouble. Panya said so, that's right. It seems that their team is missing 2 people. No one is missing from the fire hammer team. The devil knows. Maybe he will be killed in reverse. Then what do you think? Huya team suffered heavy losses. This is called stealing the chicken but losing the rice. Ha ha ha. Okay. Let's see. Gao Feng glared at Panya angrily, and there was no point in having a verbal dispute with him. Everyone knows that there are many cases of warrior teams killing each other, and most of them cannot produce evidence. If you want to take revenge, you can only solve it privately. Supply base, A4 rest area villa building. Captain, don't be angry. Not only did we not lose anything. Chenggu said with a smile, I also robbed a silver moon wolf from Huya team. Hearing this, Gao Feng, who was still angry, suddenly smiled, you are right, I may not be able to drink hundreds of millions if I take a few hits in my head. Haha. Several people looked at each other and smiled. Zhang Ke looked at Jiang Li. Besides, with Jiang Li here, it will be easy to destroy Huya team. I'm afraid that Brother Jiang will be arrested by the senior management and sent to a special training camp when he returns this time. Wei Qing smiled slyly. I just recognized you as a brother, how much I want to get along with you forever. Be careful, sister-in-law, if she has any objections to you. The Wei brothers joked without seriousness. Okay, let's stop making trouble now. Gao Feng said, although we didn't go out for a long time this time, we hunted a total of 7 beast-level monsters. Among them, the bloodthirsty tank is the most valuable. We will divide the money evenly among the teams. When the fire hammer team returned, they also took care of the 3-headed beast general monster. As for the silver moon fierce wolf, Jiang Li contributes the most. He will get 60% personally. Luo Feng 30%, and the remaining 10% will be divided equally between us. What do you think? We're definitely fine with that. Chengu, Zhang Ku and others immediately expressed their stance. Captain, I divided too much. Luo Feng refused. Anyone can dissect the Silver Moon Fierce Wolf. It was Brother Jiang who blocked the monster group alone. Anatomy is also a technical job, and I don't know how to do it anyway. Jiang Li smiled slightly and said, Captain, I can give you 50%, and 10% of it will be given to Chengu. His fire cover has consumed a lot of bullets. Ah, Chengu opened his mouth and quickly said, my bullets are worthless. Okay, just do as Jiang Li says. Gao Feng immediately agreed. Luo Feng, Chengu, you too, don't be pretentious. After finalizing the share, the Fire Hammer team found the person in charge of the HR Alliance in the military area and directly sold the monster materials they hunted to the other party. Among them, the Silver Moon Wolf was directly sold for 850 million after Gao Feng's hacking at a high price. Other materials were also sold for 140 million. According to the average distribution, one person can get 20 million Hanxia coins for ordinary materials. Silver Moon Fierce Wolf Jiang separated 425 million, and the total is 445 million. Luo Feng divided into 30%, 225 million, a total of 245 million. Chengu is divided into 10%, 85 million, a total of 105 million. Zhang Ku. Chapter 28 Diamond Dragon Body. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Gao Feng transferred the money one by one, and finally got 41.25 million for himself, which seemed much less than Jiang Li and Luo Feng. In fact, this income was enough to cover the hunting for 2 or 3 months. The money for the second level of destroying the world is finally enough. Jiang Li looked at the payment prompt and smiled. Late at night, after a round of socializing, Jiang Li finally returned to his room to rest. At this time, he opened the chat group. First, he climbed the stairs and read all the missed information. After finding that there was no important information, he opened the points mall. Soon, Jiang Li found the Dragon God Art. Dragon God Art. In the spiritual world, the Dragon God Art is the most amazing existence. Even Yin Zhong, the immortal, would rather violate the clan rules of the Tong family to learn it secretly. From this, you can imagine how high the Dragon God Art is. There is no specific explanation in the original work, but Long Bo only reached the 7th level of the Dragon God Art, and he reached the point where he could compete with Yin Zhong. Obviously, neither Yin Zhong nor Long Bo had cultivated the Dragon God Art to the highest 9th level. Even Long Teng, Long Bo's ancestor 500 years ago, the master who had an immortal soul and returned 500 years later to fight Yin Zhong again, probably did not reach the highest level of the 9th level. Of course, judging from the value of the Dragon God Art of 50,000 points, its value can also be seen. Finally, there is a technique that goes beyond the scope of martial arts to learn from. Jiang Li smiled slightly, and then in his mind, the Dragon God Art began to transform into huge glowing fonts and appeared. You comprehend the Dragon God Art, you know the method of energy transformation into dragon, you seem to have different ideas, and you have been precipitated. Become a godlike existence. Jiang Li thoroughly comprehended the Dragon God Art. The highest 9th level of the Dragon God Art is to become a god, to become a dragon god. However, this god is not a god in the broad sense, but a god in the spiritual world. In fact, it is just a master of immortal cultivation in the Jingdan period. Because the level of Dragon God Art has only reached the stage of Dan formation, a dragon pill is formed in the body, and it can be transformed into a dragon god. Of course, the real magic of Dragon God Art is that it can turn people into dragons and turn their bodies into energy. This is also the main reason why Dragon God Art is worth 50,000 points. Otherwise, in terms of power, the power of Dragon God Art is not too strong. At least it can't be compared with Vajra Glass Art. Both skills focus on the physical body, so they can be integrated. The things in them are of certain use to my Yin-Yang Hunyuan Tai Chi Gong, and can further improve the previous skills. 50,000 points are not spent in vain. As long as the Yin-Yang Hunyuan Tai Chi Gong can be improved a little, it will be worth it for Jiang Li. He closed his eyes and continued to comprehend. However, this time, his enlightenment direction is no longer just to analyze Dragon God art, but to integrate Dragon God art with Vajra glass art to comprehend a more powerful skill. As time slowly passed again, in Jiang Li's consciousness, everything transformed by the Vajra glass technique and the Dragon God technique flashed wildly. Finally, a new technique appeared, and a message came into Jiang Li's heart. You use the Vajra glass technique and the Dragon God technique as the basis to realize the Vajra Dragon God body. Vajra Dragon God body. In Jiang Li's consciousness, a Dragon God body emitting golden light slowly emerged. I saw that this body had a pair of dragon horns on its forehead, the skin on its body was covered with dragon scales, the 5 fingers turned into dragon claws, and the body was full of visible muscles. What's more surprising is that it actually grew a dragon tail. Fuck. This. Isn't this a dragon blood warrior? That the technique is very powerful. Jiang Li was very surprised. This means that after integrating the Vajra Dragon God body into the Yin-Yang Hunyuan Tai Chi technique, his Yin-Yang Hunyuan Tai Chi technique will become even stronger. After all, the foundation of the Yin-Yang Hunyuan Tai Chi technique is just a martial arts secret book, which is not too perfect. Without rushing to upload the Vajra Dragon God body to the chat group, Jiang Li continued to close his eyes and began to integrate the Vajra Dragon God body into the Yin-Yang Hunyuan Tai Chi Gong. Yin-Yang Hunyuan Tai Chi Gong is his foundation. Finally, a message appeared. You have perfected the Yin-Yang Hunyuan Tai Chi Gong. Vajra Dragon God body, a nascent soul-level skill, worth 120,000 points, are you sure to upload it? It is worthy of being a skill created based on the Dragon God skill and the Vajra glazed skill. The foundation is good and the results are also good. Jiang Li was very satisfied. Yes, without hesitation, Jiang Li immediately chose to upload the Vajra Dragon God body. Group member Jiang Li uploaded the Vajra Dragon God body, please check it in time. Jiang Li uploaded the Vajra Dragon God body, and a prompt immediately appeared in the chat group. Zombie Taoist, oh my god, Jiang Li uploaded the skill again. The infinite heaven and earth borrowing method. Jiang Li is always a god, why does his skill seem to be endless? And each one is more terrifying than the other. Long bow, 120,000 points, I can't afford it, Jiang Li is the real boss. Little cook in Taohua Island, brother Jiang Li, you have so many points, how about I send you some wine and food every day? Centenarian Taoist of Wudong, why are the skills uploaded by Jiang Li either foundation building level, golden elixir level, or even nascent soul level? Yao Yu, brother Jiang Li, I want to support you, but 120,000 points, I can't afford it even if I sell myself. Zixia Junzijian, Xiuxian boss, I can't afford it. Borrowing the law of the infinite universe, hey, Master Yu is online. Didn't you say that your Huashan sect is facing a crisis? Zombie Taoist at Zixia Gentleman Sword, Master Yu, can you kill the spies in the sect? Zixia Gentleman Sword, no. Everything is just as Jiang Li said. My second disciple Lao Dinua is indeed a spy of Songshan sect. The little cook of Peach Blossom Island, huh? Why don't you just slap him to death? Zixia Gentleman Sword, of course not. Now Yu has no solid evidence, so he can't just kill him, right? How will other disciples view me as their master? Yu has already exchanged for Jiang Li's Vajra glazed skill, and will give Songshan sect a big surprise when the time comes. Borrowing the law of the infinite universe, indeed, as the head of a sect, it is not good to kill the traitor now. After all, there is no evidence. Killing him will only make others feel chilled. Yao Yu, so, Master Yu plans to secretly practice magic skills and give the person behind the scenes a big surprise? That's really bad. The 100-year-old Taoist priest of Wudong, with Master Jiang Li here, it won't be a big problem. Zixia Gentleman Sword at Lord of Devouring, thank you for Master Jiang Li's memory video. Otherwise, I would have fallen into the trap of Songshan sect. Lord of Devouring at Zixia Gentleman Sword, it's just a small matter. Zixia Gentleman Sword, if something unexpected happens, I hope Master Jiang Li can help. Chapter 30 Jiang Li's Strongest Punch. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh. Luo Feng, Gao Feng, you are here too. Zhuge Tao and the other two walked straight towards the fire hammer team. When they got close, Zhuge Tao smiled and said, "Let me introduce you. This is the special envoy from our extreme martial arts school's global headquarters, War God Yang Hui." That the warriors present were all shocked when they heard Zhuge Tao's introduction. Meet Special Envoy Yang, President Zhou, and Director Zhuge, that the fire hammer team shouted respectfully. Yes. War God Yang Hui just nodded and didn't say much to the members of the fire hammer team. His eyes swept through everyone and soon fell on Jiang Li alone. "Jiang Li? I'm Jiang Li." Jiang Li nodded. "Jiang Li, Special Envoy Yang Hui came all the way from Jiangnan Guildhall just for your business." Zhuge Tao smiled and said, "You have to thank Special Envoy Yang Hui. No need to thank me. Without strength, no one can fight for it." Yang Hui waved his hand and said, "Let's talk on the fighter plane." "Jiang Li, let's go." Zhuge Tao also urged, and told Luo Feng, "You have to work hard too." "Yes, boss." Luo Feng nodded heavily, and the fire hammer squad could only watch Jiang Li board the military district fighter plane. Fuck. Am I seeing right? That special envoy came here specifically for a warrior. I told you not to watch so many porn movies, but you don't even trust your own eyes. That seems to be Gao Feng from the fire hammer squad. It's him, I recognize his hammer. It seems they had a conflict with the Tiger Fang squad before. The Tiger Fang squad is finished. Swoosh, the dark blue fighter turned into a stream of light and quickly flew to the Extreme Club in the base city, and then slowly landed. "Jiang Li, we're at the club, ready to get off the plane." Zhuge Tao smiled and said. "Yeah." The hatch opened automatically, and Jiang Li followed Yang Hui and the others to jump off the dark blue fighter. Afterwards, Jiang Li followed them to the top floor. This is an empty and super large martial arts training hall. The entire martial arts training hall is constructed with mixed metals, showing a silver-white color. "Jiang Li, there are two major training camps at our extreme martial arts school's global headquarters, the basic training camp and the elite training camp. Did you know that?" Entering the martial arts training hall, Yang Hui asked straight to the point. "I've heard of it." Jiang Li nodded slightly. "Well, the basic training camp is to absorb talented martial artists from all over the world and give them the best training. Generally speaking, it is a special training contract." Yang Hui looked at Jiang Li and explained, "And the elite training camp is the world's #1 training camp. Only geniuses among geniuses and students who are like monsters are eligible to participate in the assessment. Their teachers are at least war god level masters, and there are even those who surpass war gods. Even if it is the world's #1 master, our headmaster, Hong, and the world's second strongest, the headmaster of the Thunder Martial Arts School, Thunder God, will be invited to give guidance students. It can be said that there is no better faculty in the world than the elite training camp. Not only that, the President Zhou Zhengyong added, in addition to the faculty, students in the elite training camp will also get the most advanced equipment in the world today, some of which are treasures excavated from the ruins of ancient civilizations." "Jiang Li." Zhuge Tao also stared at Jiang Li, unable to hide his excitement and said, "It can be said that as long as you enter the elite training camp, unless you are eliminated or die, you can graduate successfully and become a god of war." Jiang Li blinked his eyes. "Every place in this elite training camp can be said to be a priceless treasure," Zhuge Tao said patiently, "even a super consortium family. It is difficult to buy a place at a cost of tens of billions. So, do you know how precious this assessment place is?" "Yeah." Jiang Li nodded, "Not to mention the many places that cannot be bought with tens of billions, it is enough to prove the preciousness of the elite training camp. After all, he is not rich now. However, your situation is quite special." After Zhuge Tao finished explaining the preciousness of the elite training camp, Yang Hui changed the subject. "The number of students recruited by Hanxia country next year has already been determined. Your assessment quota is a special case and is opened extra, so you need to take the B-level test. The B-level test is extremely difficult. With your current situation, it is basically impossible to pass it. However, you still have half a year to improve before the recruitment in March next year. Jiang Li didn't care and just nodded. Jiang Li, you don't have to be too nervous. With your current situation, it's no problem to enter the basic training camp. Zhuge Tao saw that Jiang Li didn't speak, thinking that he was worried about the consequences of not passing the assessment. Zhuge, this is why you can't break through the god of war. Yang Hui glanced at Zhuge Tao and said seriously, don't always think about settling for second best. Martial arts training is like sailing against the current. If you don't advance, you will retreat. It's too late for me to understand now. Zhuge Tao didn't care. He smiled and said, but Jiang Li will definitely not. After all, there are probably not many new warriors in the world who will by destroying the world and 9-layer thunder blade at the same time, that's hundreds of millions of Hanxia coins. How can ordinary warriors take it out? Jiang Li, go and throw a few punches for me to see. Yang Hui pointed to the boxing strength testing machine in the corner of the martial arts training hall and said, once, use brute force, and once, use the method of exerting force that you are good at. It's easy to see if Jiang Li has comprehended the 9 layers of Thunder Knife. Yang Hui and Zhou Xingyong were both gods of war. With their eyesight, they could easily see how heavy Jiang Li's dark energy was in an instant. The strongest power. Jiang Li glanced at the boxing strength testing machine leaning against the mixed metal wall and couldn't help but ask more questions. Good. Jiang Li nodded, since it was related to the quota for the elite training camp. He had no intention of hiding his weakness and could just test his current true offensive power. Jiang Li seems a little worried. Zhuge Tao watched Jiang Li walk to the boxing strength testing machine and couldn't help but frown slightly. Did we all guess wrong and he didn't comprehend the 9-level thunder knife? Being able to learn the master's world destruction in such a short time, he is also qualified to get a B-level assessment quota. Yang Hui looked at Jiang Li who was clenching his fist to attack and nodded slightly. Bang. After punching out, the punch strength testing machine trembled, and 18,778 kilograms suddenly appeared on the display screen. 18.7 tons, which is an increase from the value Wu Tong raised before. Zhuge Tao touched his chin and said with a smile, I have to say, he is making great progress. There is no stored energy, no hidden strength, it is really pure physical fitness. Zhou Xingyong smiled and praised, if he could be the same age as Luo Feng. But before he finished speaking, his and Yang Hui's expressions suddenly froze, and a dangerous feeling emerged from their hearts. There is only one explanation for being able to capture the feeling of danger with war god level neural responses. That's it. Is Jiang Li's punch powerful enough to hurt the god of war? Jiang Li clenched his right fist, and the energy and blood all over his body suddenly surged. His mental power also burst out at this moment, and his temperament suddenly changed. If Jiang Li just now gave people the gentleness of a big boy next door, then Jiang Li now is a god of murder. There was even a trace of dragon scales faintly appearing on his body, and his skin turned red. Boom! The punch was like a meteor falling to the ground, and the ground exploded with a thunderous sound. The entire martial arts training hall on the top floor shook instantly, and many staff members in the entire hall were knocked directly from their chairs to the ground. What happened? An earthquake? No way. There was no earthquake warning. The vibration came from the top floor. Could it be that President Zhou and Special Envoy Yang were discussing? Nervous, the god of war can tear down the guild hall. Look, what is that? Holy shit. Boxing strength testing machine. The punch strength testing machine that was knocked away by Jiang Li's punch was directly smashed to the ground, shattering the mixed metal wall and flying out, leaving a depression of about 10 square meters. The next moment, the sun shines directly in.